Happy New Year, everybody! Jock217 here, and we are back with another Kingdom Hearts Top 10 Countdown. If there's any topic that is constantly discussed in the Kingdom Hearts community, it's the boss battles. Most of the time, we talk about those bosses that make us want to send them to hell to get butt-raped by Satan's big, fat, demonic cock of flames. But what about the bosses that have the opposite effect? For this list, I will be discussing whom I feel are the top 10 easiest bosses in the entire series. Before we begin, let's go ahead and get some things straight right now. Bosses that are only easy because you used a cheap, overpowered setup such as Fenrir negative combo, the surge attacks, balloon spells, stun locking the enemy in some form or another, or pretty much anything involving experience 0 do not count. The boss has to be easy regardless of what you use and what level you are at. All of these bosses were fought on the hardest difficulty possible without taking the time to grind. The only normal enemies that you fight are the ones you have to fight in order to either proceed with the story or reach a certain boss in a tournament, or the ones that simply stand in your way. Lastly, I am not going to include any of the Destiny Islands fights, struggle fights, or dive battles, simply because I don't really see those fights as actual boss fights. So, without further ado, let's get started then, shall we? These are, in my opinion, the top 10 bosses in Kingdom Hearts that put me to sleep. Starting this list off is the Behemoth from Kingdom Hearts 1. Throughout most of this fight, all you're going to be doing is jumping on his back and attacking his horn repeatedly until he dies. Sometimes when you do a lot of damage to him at once, he will lower his head, giving you a chance to hit him with a few more combos. Once his horn shines, your attack gets parried and he unleashes his massive lightning attack that is almost impossible to dodge if you are too close to him. To completely dodge this attack, dodge roll as far away from him as you can and the lightning shouldn't, keyword shouldn't, hit you. Behemoth's attacks do inflict a lot of damage and can kill you if you aren't really careful, but since Behemoth is very slow and has attacks that are easily readable, which gives you plenty of time to prepare for them, he earns his spot at number 10. Ah yes, Darkseid. I'm sure we all saw this coming, right? But sorry, he is far from number 1. There are way more bosses in the series that are way easier than him. For this entry, I am specifically talking about the third fight with Darkseid at the end of the world. The first fight is easy, yeah, but you can actually die in that battle and still continue with the story, which kinda takes away the purpose of that boss fight. The second fight isn't too bad either, except those damn shadow orbs can come and snipe you out of nowhere while you are attacking his arm, and they will do a lot of damage to you. As for the third fight, yes, he has a couple of new attacks that do damage you, but at this point in the game, you already have all the necessary tools that is more than enough to help you survive this fight, such as Second Chance, Leaf Bracer, all of the magic spells, Ars Arcanum, and so many other things. All of Darkseid's attacks are pretty slow, and you have plenty of time to damage him in between his attacks, since Darkseid loves to sit still for long periods of time. Do be careful of the shadows that he summons though, since they will inflict quite a bit of damage to you, if they hit you, that is. Up next is Genie Jafar from Kingdom Hearts 1. This fight can be a bit of a snooze because all you're going to do in this fight is attack Iago over and over and over until he finally dies. Naturally, Jafar will try to attack you, but all of his attacks can be easily dodged. The only thing that can make this fight hard is if Jafar uses his laser attack and it actually hits you. The laser will do a lot of damage to you, but based off of my personal experiences, he rarely uses that attack at all. The most annoying thing about this fight is Iago loves to fly out of bounds to where you can't hit him at all. But even then, if you wanted to, you can just target Jafar and cast Blizzard on him since Blizzard does damage Jafar pretty well. Other than that though, this fight is a snooze and isn't that difficult at all. Hitting number 7 is Roxas from Birth by Sleep. There are quite a bit of different ways you can beat this fight, such as spamming shot locks or using a speedrun strat that includes using Terra's D-Link, but quite frankly, you really don't need any of that in this fight. Around this point, you will be around level 3 or 4, and Roxas' attacks will hardly do enough damage to you to be considered a true threat. They will hurt a little bit, but you have plenty of time to heal yourself up if you're running low on health, so quite frankly, attack them however the hell you want to, and you should be fine. If all else fails, you can wait for that reaction command to show up and activate it to do a ton of damage and practically end the fight, but you don't even need to do that in all honesty. Fight him however the heck you want to and have fun.
So it was the organization. We'll handle this. Huh?
The darkness of men's hearts, drawn to these cursed medallions, and this heartless, a veritable maelstrom of avarice. I wonder, are they worthy to serve Organization 13? And you want an answer now? Precisely. Coming in at number 6 is Grim Reaper from Kingdom Hearts 2. Keep in mind I am talking about the first fight with him on the ship, not the second fight. This fight is actually boring. This guy has the same effects as the pirates when it comes to magic, meaning you can freeze him with Blizzard or stun him with Thunder if you wanted to. But in all honesty, you don't need to do any of that because all this fight is going to consist of is attacking him repeatedly while getting hit from his counterattack. His counterattack is probably the only thing that is threatening in this fight. It can do a bit of damage to you, but at this point of the game, your defense will already be high enough to the point to where the damage will be pretty much minimal. He does teleport away from you though, which does get annoying, but for the most part, this fight is pretty much autopilot. Getting the middle slot on this list is Aggie Boogie from Chain of Memories. Since Chain of Memories has a lot of RNG associated with it, a lot of these boss fights can be pretty tough if the RNG doesn't swing your way. One exception to this, however, is Aggie Boogie. All you really need in this fight is an attack card with a value of 7 or higher. Luckily for us, the game automatically gives us a level 7 Kingdom Key, so we already have what we need. All we have to do in this fight is wait for Aggie to throw his dice, card break him with a 7 card since his cards will always be 7, attack the dice to get a gimmick card, use the gimmick card, and then just go ham on Aggie since the gimmick card stuns him for a long time. That's all we gotta do in this fight. If for some reason you miss the dice and Aggie attacks again, do not worry, his attacks are really easy to dodge. Time your 7 cards just right and this fight will be a major cakewalk. Coming in at number 4 is Hercules from Kingdom Hearts 1. I was originally going to put the fight from Kingdom Hearts 2 in here, but that damn point system in the Titan Cup changed my mind. Hercules has a yellow aura around him which makes him invincible to all damage. So how do we get rid of this godly aura that is covering this demigod from Olympus? By throwing ordinary wooden barrels at him, of course! Throughout this entire fight, barrels will spawn out of nowhere just for you to throw at Hercules. Once the aura is gone, you will be able to damage him. This fight is very slow paced. Half the time, Hercules will just slowly pace around and start showing off, asking if you give up when he hasn't even attacked you yet. Whenever he does decide to attack you, it'll most likely be with his punch attack, which can be dodged very easily. His other 2 attacks aren't much of a threat at all either. The first attack is his headbutt attack where he just charges at you. Block this attack and he will be stunned, leaving him wide open for you to hit him with the combo. The second attack is his spin attack, which is by far his most threatening attack. This attack will do a lot of damage to you if it lands. Luckily, all you really have to do is spam guard, and 99.9% of the time you won't get hit. Trust me, this fight is a total snooze, and you won't have any problems with it at all.
Simply amazing, Roxas.
Axel.
You really do remember me this time. I'm so flattered! But you're too late!
This is by far one of the most epic fights in the entire series, but unfortunately it's also one of the easiest, especially if you are playing it on critical mode thanks to the reaction boost that you automatically get with critical mode. Axel starts off the fight with his ring of fire that won't damage you at all unless you get too close to the edge. Once you do that, all you have to do is run a little bit to the left or to the right to dodge his attack. Once you dodge it, at that point this fight is simply a matter of hammering the attack button and using the reaction command when it pops up. Trust me, it is very easy to complete this fight without taking 1 point of damage. If it wasn't for how epic the story makes this fight will put us all to sleep. Earning the silver medal for this list is the Rock Titan from Kingdom Hearts 1. I cannot tell you how disappointed I was when I first fought this guy. When I first saw this guy, I was expecting this thing to give me a hard and solid fight, no pun intended. But instead, what do I get? A battle where I literally do absolutely nothing but mash the attack button over and over until he dies. Magic doesn't damage Rock Titan, so physical attacks are your only source of damage against this guy. Throughout 90% of this fight, Rock Titan will do absolutely nothing but stand still and just let you wail on him. Once he takes enough damage, he will move his leg up in the air and stomp on the ground, making a shockwave that will damage you quite a bit. If it actually hits you, when he lifts his leg, you have plenty of time to run away from him to prevent yourself from taking any damage from him. The next thing he will do is fall forward to attempt to damage you. You have plenty of time to dodge his attack as well, so you have no worries. Once he received enough damage, he will fall backwards and you will have to use your Super Mario skills to jump to the top of Rock Titan and start wailing on his head. Once he stands back up, this fight is pretty much over because you should have already damaged him enough to kill him. And if he hasn't been damaged enough to the point of death, there is no need to worry because he will just stand there for a long time and let you wail on him some more. You should have no difficulty whatsoever in this fight. The only way I could see someone dying to this fight is if the controller died or just some random bull crap happens to make you lose to this guy. Have fun enjoying this really boring fight. Alright guys, before I reveal my number one pick, here are the honorable mentions. Alrighty guys, it is now time for the number one slot. Who could possibly be easier than the pathetic fight with Rock Titan? Believe it or not guys, I actually had to put in a lot of work just to die to this guy. Yes, you heard that correctly. I had to put in effort to die to a boss. I'll explain later. So here he is guys, this is in my opinion the number one boss in Kingdom Hearts that will make you just die of laughter. Earning the gold medal is Older Pete from Kingdom Hearts 2. Trust me, I almost didn't include this guy on this list because of how pathetically easy he is. But here is what changed my mind. You have to fight him to beat the game, you only fight him once, and you can get a game over from him if he kills you. So with that being said, he technically qualifies as a boss. He shouldn't qualify as a boss though because he is just absolutely pathetic. I could give you a bunch of strats that you can use against him that will guarantee you a flawless victory, but quite frankly, fight him however the hell you want to. You're not going to die in this fight. At all. You just aren't. I say this with great confidence because at this point of the game, you will be leveled up enough to where he does very little damage to you. Not a good enough reason? Okay, how about this? If you stand still throughout the entire fight and your entire party does absolutely nothing, guess what? You're not going to die. At all. Pete will only taunt you 80% of the time, and when he does try to attack you, you receive no damage or even flinch from his so-called attack. The only way Pete can possibly damage you is if you attack him, stop for a little bit, and get hit by the attack where he just runs around like an idiot. Even then though, you have a reaction command that can save you from that. The other way you can get damage is if you get hit by his shockwave when he lands on the ground, but you can easily jump over that and avoid all damage. He also doesn't have a lot of HP or defense either. There are plenty more reasons why this guy is easy, but then I would be here for like 7 hours if I decided to talk about them, so I'm just going to go ahead and end it right here. That's going to have to do it for my top 10 countdown. What bosses were the easiest for you guys? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hammer, smash, and stab that like button and subscribe of course, and I will see you guys next time. See you guys later. Be safe. Eat that aside. Don't overdo it.